This video was sponsored by Audible. Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial, and your first audiobook plus 2 Audible originals are free. Visit audible.com/Angelica or text Angelica to 500-500. Audible is an app that I personally do love. It is an app where you can find a large quantity of audiobooks, which you can listen to at your convenience when you're driving to work, to school, to the grocery shop, or also when you're going out to the gym, to a library, or if you're reading a book and you want to expedite your reading or keep yourself focused, you can also use Audible to keep you on the mark. Audible offers a large number of titles, as I've already mentioned before. Personally, I have been reading Special Topics in Calamity Physics by Marisha Pessel, and in my wish list I currently have Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage by Alfred Lansing, and The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial, and your first audiobook plus 2 Audible originals are free. Visit audible.com/Angelica or text Angelica to 500-500. Thank you to Audible for sponsoring this video. I and a couple of my friends absolutely love Audible. Oh my hello. Give me one moment. I am just going to get a little bit of rather complete a task that I was working on before, and I will be right with you. Okay. Let's just see. Okay. This up and then scroll down. Excellent. Okay. Hello. I am the digital librarian. It might seem a little futuristic, but that is where we are now. And even though I was very hesitant to accept a non-paper physical form of reading, I must admit that I am quite a fan of my new branch of work. Right now, as a librarian, of course, I must keep on my toes with my reading list. That way I can provide any potential readers, any potential check-outers, the possibility of getting a good book recommendation. You had the look of someone that wanted to find a new book just to go on a quest and see whichever book happens to call upon their fancy. I myself tend to prefer going and scrolling through books to see which one just jumps out at me, but we can also just ask someone's opinion as well, which of course you're doing right now. Currently, in a physical, tangible form, I am reading Evelyn Waugh's Brideshead Revisited. I adore the prose in this story. It is a very aesthetic novel. There really isn't much substance to it. It's not going to be a psychological thriller of sorts. It's not going to make you provoked or anything of the sort. It's more just a fanciful read to enjoy, to live vicariously through, to really let the description sink into your mind and kind of soothe you into this really idyllic sort of world. So this is one book I'm currently reading. Another book I'm reading is Into the Beautiful North by Luis Alberto Urrea, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, because Urrea is not a very common name. And this book also has a very fanciful way about it too. The descriptions are very, very nice. It's a little mini vacation for the mind to go on. course, I have just finished Jonathan Strange and Mr. Moreau by Susanna Clark. Susanna Clark. Excellent book. Long read, of course, but it is a great book and it's very fun to read through. It's one of those books that take you on an adventure, and at the end you have this sort of nostalgia with it, where you saw the characters start and end at a certain point where you just go with the ride. You just kind of experience life with these characters. I finished The Tenant of Oldefell Hall, also a great novel. I consider Anne Bronte to be the best of the Bronte sisters, especially in this novel. This novel really does a great job at breaking down romance and romantic relationships, and how people should just learn how to take it slow and balance feelings with rationale. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend. There is The Candide by Voltaire. This book is quite funny because it was written by Voltaire, so of course it's going to be funny because Voltaire was quite a satirical philosopher, so I do like him for that. There is a tongue-in-cheek aspect to him. And a biography just to diversify the non-fiction from the fiction. This one is a biography on Richard Feynman, and I also highly recommend this book because this book gives you a great sense of admiration at the very least, and love and newfound obsession with STEM, particularly math and physics. So I highly recommend it. Plus it boils it down simply. Now you may be asking me, but librarian, didn't you say you were a digital librarian? How come you're showing me only physical copies? Well, that's a great question. You see, these books, though I do appreciate the antique feel of them, where you can just flip through a page, smell the old book smell, it is so much more beneficial to read or listen to books and just have the book do all the work for you. No more tiresome reading where it burdens my eyes and I can't focus on a line after line because I just keep dazing in and out of the passage. No more trying to read in a car ride and having it just keep bouncing and me have a headache because I'm trying to concentrate on a line and keep it steady when the car itself is not steady. No more having to read with a light beneath the sheets or in the room and having to balance the light with the book. There's no more suffering when it comes to reading a book, even though of course those can be romanticized. When it's a constant thing, it makes reading difficult. It kind of makes it into a chore. So the discovery I've made is I am now a digital librarian, where I recommend audiobooks on Audible, where you can change the pace of the book to go much faster than it actually does. So for example, if there's a 17-hour book that you like, but you don't want to listen to it for 17 hours because you really want to finish up your reading challenge and, crack as many books out as fast as possible, you can expedite the book up to 3.5 times faster, perhaps 4. Let me just double check. Boop, 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 boop. 3 times faster. So it's 3 times faster on a PC. So if you were to listen to an 18-hour novel and keep it at, or put it at a 3 times faster rate, that means you can finish an 18-hour novel in 6 hours. And to give you context for how long an 18-hour novel is, it typically is above 500 pages. A 11-hour novel is around 400 pages. So, no, 11 hours is 300. 15 hours is like 400, and 18 hours is you're getting to the 500 range. So you can finish a 500-page book in 6 hours. That is why I absolutely adore audiobooks. Plus, you can listen to them whenever. You don't have to strain your eyes. It's great to just imagine it and have someone just read it to you the way that when you were a child and you would have instructors or parents read you books. It's just all around. And it's very passive reading as well. You could just put it on your phone and plug it into Bluetooth, or just listen to it coming out of your phone, and just listen to it in a car ride, not having to actually pay attention to an actual book. Now, going back to your checkout and, sorting through books and whatnot, going back to my actual job rather than just ranting on about how I really, really like audiobooks. Which of these books by chance caught your fancy? The Tenet of Wildefell? Let me just pull it out real quick. I do admire this book very much. Let's see if we can find an audiobook of it real quick. Give me 1